Hey guys, AilouPup here, and today is my September 2016 wrap-up. I didn't do one for August because I actually only read one book in August, so I decided just to add that one to this instead. And that book was The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, which continues to follow Rand al'Thor and his friends, only now they are beginning to separate and go in different directions. Rand, Matt, Perrin, and Loyal are on their way searching for the Horn of Valir. Moiraine and Lan have disappeared for the time being, and Nynaeve and Egwene are on their way to Tar Valon. I had some issues with this book, mainly because of Rand's interactions with a particular female character that comes in about halfway through the book. I felt that they were all too trusting of this character, all of them, especially Rand. She was very pushy and demanding towards him, and yet he never actually really got angry with her. Sadly, she is probably the main reason I gave this a 3 out of 5. Actually, starting the month off, I finished reading 4 Summer Days by Judy Nickles, who is a friend of my mom's and mine as well. I don't have a copy of this book because it was an ebook. 4 Summer Days follows Tom Morgan, who lives through 4 summer days in 1876. In particular, the 4 summer days where he sees as everything changing for him and his family. He lives through these days again and again and again until he is an old man just after World War II. It was a lot simpler written than I was expecting, considering I actually haven't read any of Judy's books before, even though I had been meaning to. And at times I found it a little bit difficult to remember who was who. But I did enjoy it immensely, and I gave it a 5 out of 5. After that, I read Splintered by A.G. Howard. I have a review up for this, so I won't talk too much about it. It's basically a retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but the main character, Alyssa, is supposedly the descendant of the Alice from Wonderland. I loved the plot and I felt that it had a lot of potential, but I also felt that it was just ruined by the love interest. And he really just made it difficult for me to actually really enjoy the book. And because of this, I only gave this a 2 out of 5. Next, I finished reading Chicken Soup for the Soul, Inspiration for Writers by Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, Amy Newmark, and Susan M. Heim. It is basically like it says in the title, and that being that it's stories from authors and bloggers who have inspiration for other writers or who might be struggling with writer's block. As with other Chicken Soup for the Soul books, I have given this a 5 out of 5. Next is a book I won in a Goodreads giveaway called Homo, A Brief History of Tomorrow by Yuval Noah Harari, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I felt like this book should have come with a warning of controversial topics, because it really just doesn't really brush up against them, but instead just plunges in head first. If you're into that kind of thing, I'd recommend taking a look at it. It goes into great detail talking about how much things have changed for humans over the centuries. I don't know how accurate it actually is, but I found it very interesting and very really just thought-provoking as well. I was given an early copy of the book, and because it took me a while to get to it, it is more than likely out by now. I only gave it a 4 out of 5 because while I did find it interesting, I also found it a bit hard to follow at times, although if this is your thing, it might be a bit easier for you just because it's not really the type of book I usually read. Finally, I read The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan. This is where the series starts to get good, I think. It focuses a bit less on Rand in this book as he makes his way in the direction of Tyr, and instead focuses on Perrin, Moiraine, Lan, and Loyal as they follow Rand, Nynaeve, Egwene, and Elaine, who are in Tar Valon, and Matt, who is also in Tarvalon, while he recovers from events that happened in the first and second book. I found the characters to be much more grown up in this book than in the previous two, though I still don't quite understand why Nynaeve and Egwene are arguing in this book, and they really don't argue that often either, at least that is seen. I didn't really feel that was explained too well. Nevertheless, I gave this a 5 out of 5. These are all the books I read in the month of September and the one I read in August. What did you guys read in September? Or what are you reading right now? Let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more book-related videos from me.